welcome back to Contents May Vary. This is Kelly. I am the younger sibling of this dynamic duo that we've got going on hosting this podcast. I'm here with my big sis,
I'm
Candace.
Candace. Hey, Kelly girl.
Hey, girl. If you're tuning in for the first time, you're joining us on our podcast where we are working through a story of sibling discovery. Two sisters who grew up in two different households, meeting as adults, just sharing stories and laughter and uh, breaking down the things, working through the things together out loud.
Finding out the things.
Yes, yes, yes. So yeah, if you're just tuning in, thank you for joining us. Candace, how you doing today?
I'm feeling good. I feel
Good,
real
good,
good.
good, good. Today, I know we're tackling some stories just about our experiences with our mothers, lessons learned through our journey with our mothers and growing up in just motherly wisdom and things that we've learned from them. Um, I know growing up as a child of a single mom, there's plenty that I've gleaned, whether directly or indirectly, from my experience in my relationship with my mom. But I'm curious to learn more also about your relationship with your mom. I've had the pleasure of meeting Miss Shirley, so I know I love her
Right.
and I enjoy
I
her.
forgot about that.
Yeah. Um, so just to learn, how she has shaped you and your experience growing up as well. Um, so yeah, what to start off or to kick it off, what's one thing that your mom may have said to you growing up, or um, maybe it was one time or it was a common thing that she said to you that you hear coming out of your mouth these days?
Oh, that comes out of my mouth these days.
Uh-huh.
Let me see. Mm. I think the thing I say, I don't even know if I say I might say like a little twist on it, but I know common sense ain't common
Mm.
is one. Like she would
Mhm.
say that all the time. Common sense ain't common. I remember
Uh-huh.
when Ellis was a baby. He had gotten he was running a fever. So he was like maybe I wanna say maybe 2 months, not very old. He was running a fever, and the doctors they were like, "You only call the doctor's office when they get above 103 or something like that." And they're like, "Otherwise, give him Tylenol and it'll blah, 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 whatever."
Mhm.
And so I'm trying to follow the rules because this is what they tell you, the most instructions you'll get with a child is whatever the doctor tell you.
Uh-huh.
And so I remember telling my mom, it's like, "He not feeling like he's got this fever, blah, blah." She was like, "What's the fever?" And I said, "It's like 102 or 101, 102." She said, "Okay." And she said, "You took him to the doctor?" I said, "No." They said, "No." I said, "No." They said, don't call in there until it's like 103 or whatever the number was. It was higher than the number that he was.
Uh-huh.
And she said, "Mm." And all she said it so clearly. She said, "Well, sometimes, baby, you have to use your common sense."
Oh
And I was
my.
like, heard you," 'cause she's basically
Mhm.
like, "Being real dumb right now."
Uh-huh. Say less. Say
She's like,
less.
I don't care what them white people telling you. You better call the doctor's office."
Uh-huh. Oh, man.
And the other thing I think my mama say all the time, and it's when I would know that she did not agree with whatever it was I was saying or
Mhm.
thinking,
Mhm.
she'd say, "You think so?" I say that often. I be like,
Oh.
"You think so?"
Okay.
'Cause you can't get you keep
Mhm.
too imposing of
Mhm.
your and feelings on other grown people. So, it's
Mhm.
like, "You think so?"
Yeah,
What about you?
wow.
Are you like your mama? Do you feel like you like
Ooh. Am I? I don't know.
Imma
I
say
think
I've been seeing pictures of Miss Kim, and she looked fly.
oh, yeah. I know her fashion sense is that's very hers. She owns it. I think growing up, she used to hate taking me to the store because I never liked the things she would pick out for me. I
Really?
never you just don't like nothing. You just like so, we're alike in some ways, I guess, that, um, perhaps just like she just strong-minded. If nothing else, I ain't gonna let nobody walk all over me, and I think I get that from my mom a lot. Um, Something she said that I keep with me, it's still I mean, it's along the same lines of the common sense. She used to always tell me, "You got them book smarts, but you ain't got much other outside of that."
You think now you got your degree. Think
Yeah, and you
thing.
know everything. She got your degree, you know everything. Um, I'm trying to think of a saying. I don't know. I think this might come down just from our elders because she used to say our Uncle Johnny said it all the time. She said, "You don't know, do you?" So, somebody asks you something, you take too long to answer, "You don't know, do you?"
Okay.
Um, but then it's also different because, like, I don't have I don't have children, so I'm
Mhm.
not it's not often that I'm in predicaments where I'm saying something to, like, somebody younger than me where I'm just
Sure.
hearing some of my mama come out. But,
Mhm.
no, my friends at work, they just hear me being they'll say country all the time. I say, "I'm scared of you," or just, "I know you, Shane." I say that kinda stuff around the office all the time, and girl, the people just be looking at me like, "Okay."
I
Especially
know
when I
you
say
should. And then
especially
look,
when
you in Kentucky, they country.
but just
Like,
a
okay,
different type of country, girl.
different. I get it.
Different type, but that's no shade
Heard
to
you.
Kentucky. I love y'all here. I'm glad to be here.
Heard you loud and clear.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Yeah.
My mama. So, and we, maybe we'll talk about this a bit more, but my mama, the one thing that I will, I'm not gonna leave this earth. I've told other people that she say this because it is probably the most Shirley thing ever.
Mm.
And my mom, when I was growing up, I never talked about boys with my mom.
Mm. Mhm.
Mm-mm. Because there was one time she asked me, was there a little boy I liked?
Mm.
And I told her, I was like, wait a minute. Like, you would have thought I was a little superhero powering up. I was like, this is it. I'm gonna tell her, and then we're gonna have a whole conversation about it. It's gonna be like
Uh-huh.
on TV where she asks me what the boy
Uh-huh.
is, and then she gonna help me get the boy.
Uh-huh.
No. Shirley asked me what boy I like. I told her what boy I like, and then she said, "Now you know you can't be coding." I was so deflated. I was like, "I ain't trying to be dating nobody. Like, I was just telling you who I like." And from that point on, I didn't tell her nobody else until
Mm-mm.
I was 16, having her first little boyfriend. And she would tell this story way different. She says that I basically was trying to wait till I was 16. I looked around like, let me find a boy. That's not what happened, but that's what she would say. Imma let her have it. But when I was 17, I was sitting at the kitchen counter.
Mhm.
We were making rolls for Christmas,
Mhm.
and my mama was piddling over there in the corner by the coffee pot, doing some moving from one side to the next. And, we were in there doing our little thing. And then suddenly,
Mm.
I hear her mumbling, and she's like, "Mhm, yeah, somebody, don't don't you let them put the head in." I said, "Say what?" And then she said, "That's how you got here."
Don't let her put the head in.
Followed
Well,
by, "That's how you got here."
that's one way to put it.
I
Oh,
wanted to be like, "Shirley."
oh my. Oh, man.
And so, with my mama, I don't know what your mama's like, but my mama was definitely one of the, "I'm not your friend, I'm
Mhm.
your mother,
Mhm.
and we we're not gonna be friends." Now, as
Mhm.
adults, I can say she my friend.
Yeah.
But she was very serious about, "This is not a friendship.
Mm.
This is a mother-daughter relationship." But I
Mhm.
so desperately wanted a mother-daughter like, a friendship.
Mhm.
And at times, I feel like she was tiptoeing on that line a little bit.
Mhm.
And so as a result, I didn't know how to respond. So I would just be like, I go back. I'm not gonna say now if she were to say that now, I probably would have said something smart.
Uh-huh.
But at 17, mm-mm. I'm pretending like I ain't even hear you, but I heard you loud and clear. Loud and clear.
Yeah. Yeah. My mom, she was definitely not one of my little friends at all. Um, but again, this is no shade to my mom or anything, but it was just it could have also been a little bit to my detriment just because I again, as an only child, who am I talking to about these things? And I have my friends, but they're not.
They don't know nothing.
Well, exactly. They in the same boat as I am. So we both just out here looking at each other and looking around. So I mean, I had my friends, but my mom, when it came to those types of talks, as far as boys and dating, it was very much from a prevention standpoint. Like, don't do this, don't do this. I ain't finna explain none of this, but you bet not. It was just like
What's the
it
one that
was
you remember that stuck with you?
girl, I don't want to say it because I don't want to
Oh, no.
I don't want to say I don't want to say it. Oh God, mama, please don't get mad that I'm saying this online. Please. I just put it this way. I remember she threatened me with what would happen if I ever came home pregnant.
What'd she
It was
say?
the
She
solid
gonna kick
threat.
you down the stairs?
Mm-mm.
What'd she say?
She said she gonna get me with the take it out with a clothes hanger
Oh
herself.
my god, mama.
Yeah. So that's the type of
Trauma.
yeah. That's the type of that's the type of conversation we were having surrounding dating, and it was just straight up prevention and you bet not. Like,
Mhm.
and if I find out, girl. So um I'm just be candid. I jumped off the porch kind of early when it came to those things. And so when she found out that I was active in that way, it was really like I don't know if she was I know she was hurt by it, but then it seemed like out of her hurtness, she
Wait a
just
minute.
kind of
It took me a minute to get what you were saying, jumped off the porch a little early.
yeah, I jumped off the porch. I jumped off the porch a little early.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So when she
Okay.
found out I know she was probably more so hurt by it, but almost to the point where it kind of felt like she just left me to my own devices at that point where you on your own now. Like you think you grown and you doing that kind of stuff, then boom. I was responsible for taking myself to the doctor from that point, catching the
Really?
bus. Yeah. I used to
How
get
old were you?
15.
Good, okay.
hmm So that's before I had my car. So I used to have to catch the bus to Planned Parenthood because she was like, "You're gonna be on birth control. If you're out here doing that kind of stuff, you need to be." But it was my responsibility at that point. So it was just a lot of, if we don't say it, trauma, it is what it is surrounding that because what am I as a 15-year-old? I mean, clearly I made the decision to be active, but also now it's kind of like I feel like I'm being punished to take on the responsibility of it, but who knows? But
Did
at the doctor, just,
did you tell her or did she read your diary or something?
she found out. That's a
Okay.
story. That's a story.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Should I
Look,
tell it? Oh, I don't want to tell
I'm
it.
learning it all. I just
Do I want to tell it? She found out that I was active because one time while she was out of town and I was staying, this was after once I had my car. I was staying with my one of our close friends while she was out of town on vacation.
Mhm.
But I drove home one day, snuck my boyfriend in. We used protection. He threw it in the bathroom trash instead of like
Oh,
flushing it down the toilet.
you ain't supposed to flush it, no way.
I thought that's what they did. We was young. Who knows? He threw it in the bathroom trash. I didn't know where it went. I just was like,
It
okay,
wasn't
cool.
there.
My mom's boyfriend at the time, I guess either he checked on the house or he stopped by the house while she was still out of town. He found that in the trash can and assumed it was hers.
You was
Nobody
like,
thought it
"You
was
done got
me.
your mama in trouble."
Nobody thought it was me. So they are clashing, and because of that, she go ask. That's when she asked me, Kelly, like, "Hey, are you?" And then From there, that's the that's how I came out of the closet as not being pure. Yeah, so that's how she found out, and then from there, it was just like, "You on your own. Better figure it
Really?
out, but don't come home with this or Imma do that."
Uh-huh, uh-huh,
So, um, it wasn't a lot of I'm your little friend when it came to that sector of life.
uh-huh, uh-huh.
But, um, in other ways, though, our relationship was close. I think I would say, um, my love of, like, gaming and playing games come from her, video games, card games, board games, all of that. We did that kinda stuff together. I didn't have a sibling, she did that with me all the time, and, she always made time for those types of things.
That's nice.
My love of music, my taste in music, a lot of it stems from her putting me on to stuff and just not giving me a choice, one, to change the
Uh-huh.
station, but still, you know, just to see how she loved music and that's stuck with me. So, um, but nah, as far as me being your little friend, that's still kind of now, but we're still working through the kinks in that too.
Are you?
Sometimes I find it hard to share with my mom because sometimes she don't understand that when I call, I just want to vent or I just want to
Mhm,
talk. I'm not
mhm,
looking for you to problem solve or troubleshoot what I'm bringing to you. I just want to be able to talk because, again,
uh-huh.
who can I talk to? I have my friends now, yeah, but my friends have their own lives and their own stuff going on. So, um, yeah, we still trying to navigate that. I just say that it's complicated.
I
It's
get
complicated.
listen, I can get it. I got, my own version of that myself, and I will say that I really love the space that my mom and I are in right now. Like,
Okay.
I love it. I wish it were sooner, like, I wish, I were younger, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and that we had more time in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I just really love where we are, and a lot of that came from, the hiccups of growing up and being raised by mamas, making sure that you wasn't gonna experience the same thing that she experienced,
Mm-hmm.
in some ways, and I guess that's the kind of, the hard part of womanhood and motherhood is that, you know, moms get a bad rap at times because they're the ones holding all the stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean that the things that you experience are any less impactful
Right.
because you still had your experiences, but it just becomes like however we choose or become able to talk about the things,
Mm-hmm.
I think is a pathway for us to figure out how to reconcile
Yeah.
aspects of our lives.
Yep.
With my mom, I think I get from her. So like she laughs all the time and she'll tell me, she was like, "You a hustler just like your daddy." And because I'm always coming up with something like, "Ooh, I wanna try this. I wanna do this."
Mhm.
Almost like living by the seat of my pants, which,
Mhm.
you know, um, but what I get from my mom is that, like, my mom is so one, she's so caring,
Mhm.
and she is, I think the biggest thing I tell people all the time, I'm a believer in second chances because of my mom, and I know my mom has given people second chances that don't deserve it,
Mhm.
including our dad.
Mm.
Um, but what those second chances have afforded me in the variety of people that she's offered them to
Mhm.
has been a gift and a blessing to my life in a way that I can't discount the value of second chances. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
My mom loves music. I remember growing up, we would have at the top of the refrigerator when we were staying in our apartment, there was boombox on top of the refrigerator. In the morning,
Mhm.
we were getting dressed for school, that radio would be on, and
Mhm.
we'd be listening to K97, Mike Evans in the morning. And on Saturdays, it was All Blues Saturday on WDIA.
Mhm.
She loved music. Um, and my mom also, like, was very even though, I don't think she got as many opportunities to do it as she got older,
Mhm.
my mom was very much a feminine woman, like you know, Imma do my makeup, have my lipstick, have my
Mhm.
perfume. you know, these things. She may not necessarily always had them, but
Mhm.
when I would I remember seeing my mom go out or get dressed to go out. Oh, she put, as they say, that she put that shit on. Like, I was like, that's
Yeah.
and on top of that, um, raising a daughter raising a daughter who was not like her in a lot of ways. Like,
Mhm.
um, my mom's 6'2", so she gets the tall. Like, I got
Mhm.
the tall lessons from my mom. Like, she was like, "You don't walk with the slump in your back, you walk stand up straight," so I'm
Mhm.
very grateful for those kinda lessons. But then being in a bigger body, my mom wasn't in a bigger body as a young girl, and
Mhm.
she was thin and, thin and tall. So she didn't understand what it was like to have to be going in Lane Bryant when you 17 years old.
Lord Jesus. That's so niche. That is so niche. That is so I just wanna say that, and I know we're out there.
Like,
The tea
why everything got these fucking flowers?
and being there when all your friends are going to Victoria's Secret or Aeropostale. I don't know where the girls was getting their bras and stuff back in the day, but I was in Lane Bryant, Ashley Stewart.
Girl, I done had these titties since I was 6. We're
Ooh-wee.
not the same size, but I done had them since
Yeah.
I was 6. So,
Yeah.
like,
Oh, man.
so that kinda thing, like, I wish my mom understood better because I think she would've prepared me better, like, to have just to have a style. Like, I ain't have
Mhm.
no style until I was probably my
Mhm.
30s, really. Like, I
Mm.
had things that I would like, but I remember sometimes I might try stuff and my mom like, "No, you can't wear that." Because and I think some of that might have been her bias because she didn't have a bigger body as a
Mhm.
young girl.
Mhm.
So, I don't know. I'm rambling at this point, but I do
No, you
wish,
good.
like, yeah, the
I think m
lessons that she gave me around being a woman, I feel are the ones that are most resonant and poignant for me.
Mhm. Mhm. I think,
And they
more
weren't direct, by the way, sorry, they weren't
uh-huh.
direct. It was really through me observing her
Mhm.
and probably, like, eavesdropping on conversations I shouldn't have heard.
Mhm.
And also at times when she was really honestly probably just vocalizing her own frustrations. I
Mhm.
would get a lesson from it, even though that probably wasn't even her intent in sharing how she was feeling.
Got it.
I was certainly picking up on
Yeah.
instructions.
Yeah. One thing that my mom kinda not imposed on me, but imprinted on me is the importance of honesty and telling the truth.
Mhm,
Um, Going back to one of the sayings, um, one for sure that stuck with me is ain't no difference between a lie and a thief. If you're a lie, you'll steal. Something like that. So just imprinting the point of being honest at all times and how impactful it could be to be dishonest with someone. That's
mhm,
something she imprinted on me. Um, my mom I also see her as a hustler. My mom gonna find a way to say, "Hey, this what you need. This how you can make some money for it." I know how to do this. Let me do this. My mom, she's a hairstylist. She's been a hairstylist my whole life. She's transitioned so many different ways through that career. She started doing hair. She sold hair products for like I don't know if you remember Luster Silk.
mhm,
She was a rep for them. Don't shoot me, mama, if I got it wrong. I think it was Luster Silk. One of them old school companies out of Detroit. She
mhm,
used to be a rep for them and travel and do hair shows for them. Um, then that transitioned when I was in high school. She got her license to teach. So she worked at the cosmetology
mm,
school from that point. Um, but one of the bigger things that I just like knew she was hustling, like she was a hustler as a teacher, she even sold like tutoring sessions to prepare her students for a state board. Outside of
mhm,
that, like people who needed state board prep, maybe they didn't go to her school, but they were looking for somebody to help them prep for the state board exam. She put
mhm,
together a tutoring package. My mom loves to cook. She's always selling food and doing things. So that hustle and just finding ways to share what you have with the world. I think I've
Mhm.
taken that on from her. I think that's visible in a lot of my ways of just I'm gonna be creative. I'm gonna try this out, see what this do, or
Yeah.
just um. So it's funny that you said dad is a hustler. Well, I guess I knew that, but I always assumed I just got that from my mom. Which it probably, it's a little bit of a mix of both.
And that might have been the thing that they liked about each other, who knows, you know?
Yeah, yeah, that very well could be. Very well
You
could
know, it's
be.
possible this wa but yeah, listen, dad, once upon a time,
Mhm.
and I don't even know like, our
Mhm.
mothers know him from when, he was out in the streets.
I was
We
gonna say he
don't
was
like,
outside.
I don't know when he was out there. I just know, okay, daddy, wanted
Mhm.
to get some money for some groceries and was like he came up on it some kinda way. So I
Mhm.
knew, it might be fixing somebody's, doorway or,
Mhm.
like, putting in, some floor someplace or hiring
Mhm.
a group of guys to clear out, a vacant building.
Yeah.
It could be any number of things, but he would figure out a way to have some money in his pocket,
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know? And, and so I think that's what my mama meant when she was like, "You need to hustle just like your daddy." Because
Mhm.
listen, the odd jobs I have had across this life, somebody be like, "Why?" But then when you get to know me like that tracks.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. I love to tell people I've lived many lives. I'm like, I'm only
Listen.
38. I've lived many lives. You don't even know the half of some of the just experience that I have. The career aspect alone is one aspect, but just I've lived a lot of lives. And I'm
Mhm,
grateful for it.
mhm.
I'm
Jumping
grateful
off the
for it.
porch early.
Uh-huh.
I had to
Hey,
say that. Imma use that. Jumped off
jumped
the
off the
porch
porch.
early.
Yeah, jumped off the porch a little early,
So
but
so let's go back to that for a minute.
uh-huh.
Um, so when mom realized that you set her up to get fussed at by her boyfriend,
Oh my god.
and you were like, you're on your own and you gotta handle kinda all these things by
Mhm.
yourself, did that persist into adulthood? Or
Mhm.
was there a moment where you kind of brought her in more or where she wanted to be included more,
Mm. No.
how you were navigating, especially male-female relationships or romantic relationships generally?
Mhm. That persisted. I think after a certain point, it was more so now I just don't even feel like one the need to
Mm,
talk to you about it. Because then by the time I'm good and grown, now I have my girlfriends that I could talk to about those types of things.
mhm,
Um, Also just the lessons of, when you're going through something with somebody, they tell you, okay, you need to leave them alone, but then next week you're right back with them and you're dealing with that kind of judgment. Didn't want that from my mom. So
mhm,
I became even more like just private or recluse, and
mm,
she only would see or learn what I wanted to share.
mhm,
And I haven't had a lot of serious relationships, like serious, serious, to where I'm like, you need to talk to my mom, you need to meet my mom. Maybe like one or two. And
mhm,
even in that, it's just like, oh, when I'm around them, I'd call her, hey, such and such on the phone, or, I'm over here with such and such, or they'll FaceTime, but it still wasn't like I'm bringing somebody into the fold or bringing my mom in also on the goings on.
mhm,
I've been really private when it comes to sharing or not sharing that aspect of my life with her. And I think it does truly stem from not just feeling safe to share back then.
mhm.
Um what was the other part of the question? It was a
Feel like that might have been both of 'em. It was just
yeah.
like, if it's still the same now, and if,
Mhm.
but it is
And
the same now, so it's kinda like
it is. And it like I said, and then there was a time when I did bring her in a little bit more just because there was a life experience going on. But then, that developed and happened, and then just from there it's still like nothing. But a lot of that does also stem from just me not having a lot of serious relationships or things that I feel like are even worth it to share with her. And just the girlhood type things, womanhood type things, um, like I would describe as like my era, my Issa era, insecure, like those types of things. It was just always me and my girls going through that. I just
Mhm.
lean on them for them types of conversations, and yeah.
That's one thing that I do kinda wish I had, like, an experience I wish I had, which was, like,
Mhm.
being in my 20s or 30s,
Mhm.
and I don't wish I had it in terms of, like, wish I was dating, but
Mhm.
rather, like, the experience of going through that phase of life and where your girlfriends are the people that you rely
Yeah.
on. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
feel like that's a
Yeah.
that's an experience that I didn't get,
Yes.
and, maybe I was like, well, shoot, maybe I wish I were more connected to you at that time. Like, "What you
Uh-huh.
doing?
Uh-huh.
What you got going on today? Where are we seeing?"
Girl. Girl, my friends, they caught all of that. I mean, it was all we were all outside, like we were all just
Uh-huh,
outside.
uh-huh,
um, the dating app stories, the guys we meet at the club, and girl, let me tell you what this one did. Just that it was a time, and I I c- I don't I wouldn't change it at all.
uh-huh.
If I
Are
could
you
go
dating
back, I
somebody
wish
now?
no.
Okay, look,
I'm
I'm being
very
nosy.
much mm-mm. I don't even know if I'm in a space right now where I want to like share. I'm very much comfortable right now.
Mhm.
I'm
You don't want nobody
comfortable.
in your space?
And don't come in unless you're coming in to increase or make it better. I feel like I got a lot of stress on my own. I don't want nobody that's coming in just to play around and add to that.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm not to say that I wouldn't want somebody, but I'm not actively pursuing it.
Gotcha.
I would love, I would love maybe if something organically developed, but I'm not jumping on apps. I'm not doing all of that stuff right now. I'm through with that for real, for real.
One of my girlfriends, would when she would come in town, she was like, I would just swipe through her app 'cause I was like, it's just so fascinating to me because that's a whole different aspect of the world that I
Mm-hmm.
have no clue how it works. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And so I'm like, this is really interesting. So then
Uh-huh.
sometimes I would swipe the wrong direction. And I was like, "Oh, no, I did." She's like, "That's okay, I can take it back." 'Cause I get a few
Yeah.
take backs, whatever it's called, a few
Uh-huh.
I don't know what the term is that they use for
Mhm.
when you are thinking about relationships, right? So even though you're not actively pursuing one now,
Mhm.
is there anything that you feel you will do or won't do or will look for or won't look for based on either the relationships you saw your mom have or what you understood or knew or what she explicitly told you about
Mhm.
relationships?
Um, from what I observed, I think there's a level of just, like, toxicity and behavior that I just know I won't put up with, and I haven't. That's pretty much always been the case because I don't think she's dating a lot now. So, this is all just from what I saw growing up as a teen while she was dating and,
Mhm,
having her boyfriends. Uh Again, it's just I knew what I didn't want. My mom, like, arguments and all that kinda stuff, that's just I don't wanna deal with that. More so the lessons that I carry now are just from personal experience.
mhm, mhm.
Um, One, to believe people when they tell you things, like, don't try to no matter what potential you may see with somebody, if they saying straight up, "This is what I want and this ain't what I want," believe them. So taking people at face value and at their word for sure, instead of seeing beyond that, or being delusional.
Delulu.
Uh-huh. There's definitely a boundary of delusion that I just can't cross.
Mhm,
And though green flags, knowing what I sense as a green flag in partners is the willing to be like vulnerable and
mhm,
open with me.
mhm.
I think I value that when I find people just in general, friends or people that I'm pursuing, like relationships with, your willingness just to be open and vulnerable with me lets me know a lot.
Yeah.
Um, because then that helps me feel safe to be all versions of me and just me fully, not all versions of me, but just in my fullness, without feeling like I have to hold back parts of myself out of fear that you might disappear. You might decide you don't like me because of this
Mhm,
part of me,
mhm,
you know? Mm. So somebody who is able to be vulnerable with me and allows me to be vulnerable and feel safe in that is very
mhm.
important above all things to me.
I think for me, I have a large part of how I thought/think
Mhm.
about relationships come from what I observed between my mom and our dad.
Mhm.
Um, and also some things that she, like, explicitly said to me. Like, I
Mhm.
remember, um so our last episode, I was saying how, like, there were a lot of things that I didn't say to dad because I was nervous that he might leave or might not come back.
Mhm.
Like, I was worried about him choosing to not be around because I did something that made him sad or
Mhm.
angry or what, pick a word, you know?
Right.
And, I do know that I carried that into adulthood, like, seriously. Like, there
Mhm.
were a lot of things, like, in my marriage that I wouldn't say because I was worried that if I said it, it was gonna be, perceived a way that then made that person, l you know,
Mhm.
not like me no more,
Mhm.
or something like that. And I know for me that had definitely or has been a cornerstone in my therapy practice,
Okay.
just around, like, speaking up for yourself and
Mhm.
saying what you want and what you don't want.
Yeah.
And it was actually a friend of mine I was talking to a couple of years ago. I guess maybe it was, like, 3 years ago now. Um, he's a professor out in California, and he was like, "Oh," we was talking about this very type of thing,
Mhm.
and he was like, "You should read, or reread Audre Lorde's uses of the erotic."
Okay.
And he was like, "You'll find in there that she reminds you that you deserve to be honest about your deepest desires."
Mm.
And it was like revisiting that essay as an adult woman, because
Mhm.
I know I read it in undergrad and
Okay.
hadn't read it anytime since. But revisiting that essay as an adult woman, I was like, "This is accurate. Like, this is real. Like, I do
Mhm.
deserve to be able to speak up for what I want,
Yeah.
whatever that want is,
Yeah.
and not be, even if it does make someone feel a way or make someone choose differently,
Mhm.
that's their choice. They get to have their choices.
Yep.
They get to have their feelings,
Yeah.
and I don't control that, you know?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so that was one thing, but I remember when I was 9, and I remember asking my mom, this was around the time, shoot, that I was asking dad what your mama name was. There was a lot going on for me at 19.
Yeah.
I said I said, "Mom, do you regret getting married?" Because at that time, I felt that we were supposed to be married.
Mhm.
I didn't know why, but that's the way I felt, you know?
Mhm.
And I said, "Mom, do you regret being married?" And she said, "No."
Mm.
Um, she said, "I loved being married when I was married. When your
Mm.
dad was my husband, I loved being married."
Mm.
She said, "But when he started treating me the way that he had started treating me, no,
Mhm.
I didn't love that, and I didn't want that." She said, "But when I was married, I loved being married."
Mm.
And she always had these, or will speak about these kind of caveats, like in relationships, where she would say, I feel like my mom has a very mature aspect on life generally, but especially on male-female relationships. Like, she would
Mhm.
say, You know, "I knew your daddy wasn't, he was in St. Louis working on, I knew he wasn't doing what he was supposed to do, but when he came home, he was my husband." And she was
Mm.
like,
Mhm.
and he didn't, wasn't talking to me outside of his neck. But then one time he decided to start talking to me outside his neck, and I couldn't deal with that no more.
Mhm.
Or
Mhm.
she'll say how, there are men that will she's like, there are men that, try to remove a woman's choice. And she's not talking
Mm.
about, you know, uh with regard to to family planning. She's
Mhm.
talking about, like, men being married wanting to have relationships or pursue relationships with other women and being dishonest about
Mhm.
what they're doing. And she was like, "You don't know, I might choose to be in relationship with you,
Mhm.
but at least give me that choice.
Yeah.
Don't try to take my choice away from me by not telling me the truth."
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like the fact that my mom always spoke so candidly with me about
Mhm.
those particular aspects of real relationships.
Yeah.
I think it allows me to have what I believe is a healthy perception of expectations,
Mhm.
in a way that I don't know where most people sitting at. You know, some people might view that as, being rolled over. Some people might view it as,
Mm-mm.
not really being married. But I think that's just life. You know,
Mhm.
I don't know.
And I
But I appreciate her being honest in those ways for me.
mhm. I think that there's true value in that having that choice. I Whether people would judge it or not, is still just about having the respect for someone to allow them to have the choice to say this I'll choose to be with you in this, whatever this is, as long as you're clear with me about what this is. Um, I feel like that's valuable. You It doesn't get better than that. When I say I want somebody to be open and vulnerable with me, that's amongst all things, okay? So you're feeling how you're feeling, but also if there's something else out there, say that, you know? I mean, I don't know. I would I hear her and I feel her in that.
Yeah, like I
Um,
love that she told me that because otherwise I feel like I would have gone into um marriage with these, rose-colored eyes, not
mhm,
realizing the way life can sometimes unfold,
mhm.
you know?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then feeling like you did something wrong because life unfolded the way that it did,
yeah,
instead of feeling like you have a certain level of agency around the way your life unfolds, and you can choose what you choose, and you can
yeah,
choose what you don't, or you can not choose what you don't want.
mhm,
But
yeah. I think not I don't envy it, but I wish I had that type of relationship with my mom. Um, Again, it's just a lot of what I've learned in that arena with relationships and dating and all of that, and just how to let somebody how to have somebody, share space with someone in that way. It's just been from experience, trial and error, out of my own experience, and then just observation with her, but never direct conversations about, "Hey, you should," you know? I didn't get a lot of that.
there's, another aspect of that we hadn't talked about,
Mhm.
not necessarily mom and daughter, but in terms of where you get your information and your advice or whatever about how you navigate relationships.
Mhm.
I often wished um that Gene would have told me more
Mhm.
about certain things,
Mhm.
and that dad would have told me more about certain
Yeah.
things. Like, I wish, because I see some things where girls are like, "Yeah, my dad already told me how to, about
Mhm.
this." I
Mhm.
I don't know, like, from him, I don't know, I don't know. I do know he will say sometimes, you know, "Oh my god, this is the worst." He was talking about someone related to us, I won't say how, because then it'll, tell they
Uh-huh.
business, but he was like, um I told him, I said, "What? She ain't gonna be no cum bucket for you." And I was like, "What?"
He is so raw. It's very I love it. I love
I
it.
just I did too, but I was like, "Okay." And he would
Yeah.
say something like, you know, uh, talking about leaving money on the nightstand. What, you a hoe or something? Like, he would say something like that. And then Gene, I remember one time I asked him because we were talking about my god sister, who was the
Mhm.
person, like, she would have been the person that if I were to get advice from, it would have been her if we had been connected as, still
Mhm.
connected closely at that time. And it took Gene putting me on game for how, how, because I was like, how I was like, how do these girls be getting men to buy them all this stuff?
Mhm.
'Cause I was
Yeah.
like, "Is it me?" Like, how is it that certain girls have boyfriends that, like, trick off on them all the time,
Mhm.
and then you got me, like, just like, we just all in it together, you
Uh-huh.
know? I just didn't understand how it happened because I was like, "Are they going out like, mm-mm, you can't be with me unless you got blah, blah, blah." Like, are they doing that? I asked him,
Uh-huh.
he was like, "No." He was like "This what they gotta do." He was like, you let's say you got a job, right? You got your paycheck, you take that first paycheck. I was like 24 when he told me this. He was like,
Uh-huh.
"First paycheck, you go out, you get your hair done, get your nails done, get you a fly ass outfit, and then you gone out." He was like, "You gone out, you go to dinner, go on to the mall, walk around a little bit. You go
Uh-huh.
out, you show yourself a little bit." He was like "Maybe rent a car for the day, rent you a nice car for the weekend, the car you like to drive, you just go and do that and go and prance around, find something to do." He was like, "Any man that see you out that day or that weekend,
Mhm.
they know what it's gonna take to keep you,
Mm.
and only that type of man is gonna be the one that approach you." He's like, "Now they gonna
Mm.
come with some other stuff." He was like, "But they gonna know that, oh,
Yeah.
she expecting Imma have to spend some money if I'm with her."
Okay.
And I was like, "Oh." I was like, "Oh, that's how that."
Uh-huh.
He was like "Yeah." He was like, "'Cause if I'm broke, I ain't," he was like, "Ain't no way Imma pull up on a girl that's doing all that and feeling like Imma be able to compete." He's like, "'Cause I can't."
Solid.
And I was like,
Solid advice.
"Fair." But, again, I'm whole married at this point, so,
Mhm.
like, there's nothing Imma do with that information, but it's just I do wish the men around us would have given more of that kind
Mhm.
of advice too. In
Yeah.
addition to the male the mother-daughter relationship, I wish
Yeah.
that they viewed or recognized the importance of their input,
Mhm. Yeah.
you know?
I, have older cousins that are male, but the age gap is so, like, big that I don't think they would have felt comfortable talking to me about dating, and I never got to a point where I was ready to ask either of them those types of questions, but I probably could have, but I
Mm.
don't think they would have been the ones to initiate the conversation. I think they would have felt too
Yeah, 'cause you were
like
like,
it's a
"Ugh."
uh-huh. For real. Like, "Why would what?" So, because even now my cousin, he be trying to slide it, "Kelly, you talk to anybody?" How you just asked me earlier, "Are you dating anywhere right now?" He'll ask, "You ain't got no boyfriend?" "No," and he'll think I'm playing or lying about it. I'm like, "No, I don't." He don't believe me, but he tries now. Now, he tries, but now there's just nothing going on for us
Mhm,
to
mhm,
discuss, but, I do know I have that now. When it comes to dad, I didn't get that type of relationship with dad until my adult years, so
mhm.
20s, 30s, even 30s, really more. But I do enjoy talking to dad about that, and that's been a relief for me because again, I just know from my experience with my mom, I really can't talk to my parents about this type of thing until I started talking to dad and realizing how candid and just real and down to earth he could be in those types of conversations that I don't feel judged or I don't feel like I'm in trouble. And
Mhm,
it's a shame that, and, as at 38, I still feel like I could be in trouble with my parents, but
mhm.
um, I I have appreciated that in my later years. I wish I would have had it in my earlier years, but
Yeah, I love
yeah,
that. I
yeah.
love that. Does any part of your experience growing up, so, like, with dad popping in, popping out,
Mhm,
and then, the discovery of, like, an entire whole different set of family
mhm.
that you have, did any of that influence your thoughts around men or relationships or anything?
Um, no, not from my direct experience.
Mhm,
No, no.
mhm,
I think a lot of what what shaped my opinions on men and the world was media again. So what I saw in movies, I was really naive and green in that way where I'm
Me
thinking
too.
it's supposed to happen like this. They say this is
Me
what you're
too.
supposed to do. So this is what I'm setting out for. They say you should try to find a mate. Being in college and in my 20s is not too young when I feel like it really is. Like you still learning yourself to
It
try to
is.
get settled down. So, but back then I was like, oh yeah, I want this and this is what I want to do. It was really more shaped by media. Knowing the potential of what could be, I would glean that from seeing my other friends who had kind of two-parent households
Mhm.
and seeing what I could pull from that. That was like inspiration, or when somebody say they mood board, you had your friends. I had my friends who their parents were like that for me, like, oh, I want to be like them, when I grow up.
Mhm.
But um again, a lot of what I saw with my mom and just like having not having dad around, it was just more so like a what not to do, what I don't want.
Mhm. No, look, that's real.
It was just more like a what I don't want. And then I had that on one side, and then of course just the delusion or the naive picture of what I think I do want was being shaped by media,
Mhm.
and that also is not so great either. But eventually, now as I'm out again, it's trial and error. I'm learning what I do like and what I do want, and what is healthy to me, and what red flags, learning what the red flags are, that type of thing. It's all come from experience. I'm really self-taught in a lot
You're
in a
not
lot of
self-taught.
ways. Self-taught in a lot of ways. It really is. That's the biggest thing I feel like. I think that's the most closely tied in thing I feel like with being an only child is just a lot of what I have in this brain of mine is from just self experience and um learning on my own. Very independent in
Man,
that regard.
I have so much respect for that because I can't like, as much as I feel like, there were things that like, there are things that I wish I may have gotten differently or whatever.
Mhm,
There is a lot that I learned with having Gene in the house, like, growing up with him in the house with me,
mhm,
um, that in a lot of ways, Gene was my both of my parents sometimes,
mm,
because
mhm.
attentions were so divided, um, and I'm thinking back now, like, I wonder what that would've felt like, or been
Mhm,
like if it were just me.
mhm.
So I have a tremendous amount of respect for that experience. It's like just kinda we all out here winging it. But
I'm
you
just
like,
out
I
here.
I was you're like you're like,
I'm
"I
just
was
out here.
winging it for real."
Yeah. Really, 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 really. And again, it's not to knock my mom. There definitely, she
Yeah,
raised me. She
yeah,
she shaped me. She took care of me. There are a lot of things, but when it came to my inner world, a lot of that was shaped it's
yeah.
just me.
You know what, I bet I would venture to I bet that if your mom chooses to listen,
Mhm.
she's gonna have some questions.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I feel like that might invite an opportunity for y'all to connect in the way that you want.
Yeah, for sure.
How you feel about that possibility?
I'm open to it, but no, I take away the but. I take away the but. I'm open to it.
Uh-huh,
I hope, it inspires something.
uh-huh.
But again, I'm not saying these things to knock her or,
Of
paint her in a
course.
bad light, but it's just my truth.
Yeah,
It's just my truth.
it is. I know for me, with me and my mom, a large part of our conversations didn't happen until I started writing
Mm, mhm,
about things,
mhm,
and I feel like that's what unlocked, you know, uh, a pathway to understanding, like, to
mhm,
where I understood more of where she was coming from at certain things,
mhm,
and also where she understood what I was experiencing. Like, there was one point when my mom and I were talking, and she was like, it just some things just didn't dawn on me. She was like, "It
mhm.
didn't dawn on me that, like, I got this whole child over here that's going through going through life and
Mhm.
experiencing a whole lot of things." She's like, she said, "'Cause honestly, I was just consumed with mine."
Yeah. Yep.
And that's real.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, so, we give our mom I feel like it's gonna be a lot of, we'll have a lot of opportunity to talk about or see a lot of the things of our moms come through because honestly,
Mhm.
sharing a dad, like, there's the Are you crying?
A little bit. A little bit, girl, a
I'm
little
not
bit,
laughing at you crying.
a little
I'm
bit.
laughing at you saying a little bit.
A little bit. They trying,
What's
but I was
got
trying
you
to
emotional?
keep it together because I ain't got no tissue around here,
What's
but,
got you emotional?
um, girl.
Ugh, it's okay.
Just, not knowing of what how she may take,
It's fine. It's hard.
how she might receive some of the things just, that I'm sharing just because it's my story and I'm not trying to make her feel no kind of way, but just the worry of maybe I don't want her to hear this and take it the wrong way, you know?
No, I get that. And I understand it because 'cause I've been there.
Yeah.
I am there, and I think I'll say this, I don't wanna speak for you,
Mhm.
but I'll say that, um, your experience is your experience.
Yeah.
However people showed up in that experience, you can't take responsibility for.
Mhm.
You can always be open to understanding
Mhm.
and hopefully have the opportunity to, um, embrace a mutual understanding to where not
Yeah.
only are you understanding of them, because I feel like a lot of times as kids, as children, we're put in positions where we're always required to understand
Mhm.
and to be understanding,
Mhm.
but not often given that same type of
Yep.
understanding in turn to be like, "Okay, I can see why you might have thought that, or I can see
Mhm.
why you might have felt that way.
Mhm.
It wasn't what I meant, and it was the last and it's farthest from what I wanted for you,
Mhm.
but I get it,"
Yeah.
And the best case scenarios you get, which I had the option of having, is someone says, "I'm sorry you experienced that." Like, that's the
Yep.
best scenario.
Yep.
And worst case scenarios might be, "You lying, that ain't what happened." Those things happen too.
Yeah.
Um, but one of the things that I do know is that it's really, really hard to continue to create as a creative.
Mhm.
Hard to continue to create when you're not giving voice to all the things that you need to talk about,
Uh-huh.
that you need to say.
That's true.
Um, and I when I was working on a project that was heavily centered on girls and moms, I felt like I was so nervous about doing it because I was like, "My mom's gonna think I hate her, or she's gonna
Uh-huh.
think, think she's gonna think that you know, I don't see any good in what she did or anything."
Mhm.
And I needed to consciously tell my mom, like, "I don't want you to leave this earth without knowing that I know and I believe that you did a good job."
Mhm.
Like, let's start from that
Yeah.
foundation. You did a good job with me. Like,
Yeah.
I appreciate you and I love you. And also
Yeah. The two things can be true.
yeah, and also, um, this was my experience. These are things that I'm still trying to work through,
Mhm.
and they influence me in ways that I'm yet to discover.
Mhm.
And because you were the one that was there,
Yeah.
a lot of it is laid at your feet,
Yeah.
but it's not because I dislike you or I feel that you wanted to hurt me or had the desire to make me feel
Mhm.
a way. It just is.
Yeah.
And for us to be able to get, to a new place and a different place, I would appreciate if you could understand
Yeah.
me, seek to understand me.
Yeah. And I think that's where in the past that disconnect has been there where I don't feel understood
Mhm.
or and I know me and her probably both need to go talk to the lady, but
You go talk to that lady.
uh, a lot of times when I'm having or trying to have those types of conversations with her, I can I can sense that there's something that she can't see around. It's like some hurt or something she needs to process where it's causing her to react to what I have to say
Yep,
in a way that is not my intent, you know? So that's where I was struggling with just now was just I
yep,
know it's gonna be received hard, you know?
yeah.
But like I said, we probably both need to go talk to that lady. But I can tell, I can I can very much tell you spoke directly to it, that there's a disconnect between me feeling like I understand her, but not feeling
Mhm.
understood myself when I'm trying to express these types of or just have these types of conversations with her.
And then especially when, you know, I would imagine you're probably having a similar experience, which is you invest a lot of time in getting to know who you are,
Mhm,
and that includes a lot of self-discovery, a lot of
mhm.
self-reflection, a lot of corrections,
Very much
and
self-aware.
trying to do things a different way and all of that, and consciously doing these things.
Mhm,
Um, whether it's, the results of formal therapy or not, like you're trying to show up differently.
mhm.
And then at times it can feel like you're hitting a wall because you know you're different,
Yep.
but the person you're talking to, they don't know all the ways in which you're different.
Mhm,
And in a lot of ways, you might still be 12,
mm, mhm.
you know?
Yep.
And you're like, okay, grown ass woman.
Yeah.
And also I'm different. Like I'm not the same person that I was when I was 18 or 19 or the last time I may have made a decision that feels similar to the one that I'm making now. Like
Mhm.
I'm a completely different person, bit more informed person, happy to share with you who I am,
Yeah.
you know?
Yep.
And I know that my mom and I had a rub like that. It was when dad um was hospitalized the first time, like
Mhm,
for that longer period. And everybody's nerves were just bad. We were
mhm,
all our nerves were shot and
mhm,
worried and not knowing what was what and whatever. And I'd said something. My mom had said something. I perceived it in the way that, "Oh, here she go. She always gotta say it this way. Of course, I'm not doing something the way she want me to do it and in the
mhm,
time she want me to do it." I perceived it that way. And then she responded because, of course, because perceived it a way, I responded based on my perception of the thing.
mhm,
And then she responded to the way that I perceived it
mhm.
with the way that she perceived it. And her response was, "You just, w um, why you just think I don't like you," or something like that. I can't remember exactly what she said. I know I
Mhm,
wrote it down. But it was a tension because we were both seeing each other probably the way we saw each other in 1997.
mm,
And I didn't see and observe her growth. She didn't see and observe my growth. I
mhm,
wasn't assigning to her the thing that she thought I was assigning to her, and she wasn't assigning to me the thing that I thought she was assigning to me. And then it
mhm,
just blew up,
mhm.
and I was like, I don't wanna do this again. I don't want to do this again.
Yeah.
And I had to consciously decide, "Oh, there's gonna be some time mama just ain't gonna get me, blah, blah, blah."
Yep,
And
yep.
then it just happened. It just so happened that over the course of those 3 years, we got to know each other better and understand each other better.
Mhm,
But I think that I had to have first decided that I might be the only person on the side of understanding.
mhm.
I'd be standing there by myself,
Yeah,
but I'm gonna do whatever I can because I want this relationship to be different.
yeah. I hear you in
I
that.
wish I could hug you. I'm sorry, like,
Oh, I love
'cause I
you.
I know what that feels like. I know what
Yeah.
that feels like, especially when you're talking in public. You done went out there and telling people all my business, and then
Girl, sorry. Okay. Well, here we go.
Here we go. And the thing is, I was talking to my mama the other day. She was like, she said, "I saw your," because I didn't tell her we were doing this. She
Uh-huh.
said, I saw your Instagram thing. I always wondered how that happened." 'Cause she didn't
Oh,
know
man.
how we ended
That you
up
reached
getting
out?
connected. Yeah, she had
Wow.
no idea. She said, "I always wondered how that happened."
Wow.
How's
But hey,
what's your mom's reception of what she's seen so far, at least with the promo
she
thing?
She she hasn't given me much feedback. I know she's, like, commented and liked
Uh-huh,
all the posts. When I told her we were doing it, she was excited, and then she checked back in at a certain point,
uh-huh.
"Hey, did y'all doing the thing yet?" Or, or I tell her, "Oh, the, weekend that we were filming, that one time," I told her, "Yeah, me and Candace did it." She said, "Oh, y'all gonna do it? Okay, okay." So I haven't got, I think she might be just curious
Uh-huh,
to
uh-huh.
see.
So,
I think
Miss
just
Kim, please don't get upset with Kelly.
please
First
don't.
off, that's number 1, but 2, I do think that this will be, in some ways, a love letter to moms
Mhm.
because we are who we are because of our moms.